to a special piece for you tonight. Silence before the starting gun is never empty. It carries doubt, expectation, and the weight of reputation. For the first time in his career, Africa's fastest man went through a season without breaking the 10-second barrier. Injuries, frustration, and unanswered questions followed Ferdinand Omanyala wherever he ran. But champions are not refined and defined by the fall, only by the response. As the road to the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics begins, 2026 presents Omanyala with a chance at redemption. A reunion with coach Duncan Ayemba has reignited belief, sharpened focus, and reopened the door to greatness. This is not a comeback, it is a reckoning. Ferdinand Omanyala, when silence breaks. Take a look.
I don't think so. I don't think the weight of, like, it's a long distance and a middle distance country, that doesn't really affect me, because I'm not that person who follows the crowd. I'm not that person who does things because the crowd says so. Because ever since I started doing sprints, I had like a very small circle of people who believed in me. So coming to this place where I'm having now like millions of people believe in me, and then, doing something that's different from the normality. So for me, I don't look at it as a burden, but I look at it as a responsibility on my shoulders. Advantage, because I'm sitting at the top of so many people right now. So to me, I take it to my positive side, like I'm using that opportunity to make my name big for myself. Yeah. I'm the kind of athlete who loves the hype. I love when people talk about me. Every time I go into a race and there's these matchups and everybody's talking about who's gonna win, Omanyala is in this race. For me, that's what pushes me. And I love it when people don't believe in me, because that's one thing that really pushed me to become who I am today. So every time I step into these world stages and every time the conversations about me, the African record holder, for me, I take that to my advantage. Like I said, that's more appearance fee. That's more attention to me, and for me that's something that really pushes me to perform even better. When I started doing sprint and the year that I got a breakthrough, nobody believed in me, and when I see people talk about me, analyze me, give me a term that I should retire, or maybe say that I'm at my peak, and some even bet that I'm not going to get back to my normal form. Those are things that really spearhead me. These are the things that make me want to run even faster, because it's not that I'm looking out to prove anything to anyone, but, just for me. Like I said, I love conversations about me. So, when people talk about you, whether good or bad, they're just talking about you, yeah? So, for me, that's something. Of course, it's a sport, and sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But for me, I don't really lose. I either win or learn, So every time I lose a race, I always remind myself of who I am. I go back to my videos and check the videos that I've done before, and I remind myself, who are you and what are you doing this for? So that's something that really pushes me. And of course, the people around me as well, they keep me going. And plus, of course, my sponsors, like previously the World Championships, when I had an injury, at some point I was thinking of cancelling that. I was thinking of just not going to the World Champs, but it's my sponsors who came through, and they were like, we're supporting you because of who you are, and just encouraging me and giving me activities even that are not even part of the track. So all these things put together, I always wake up and say I'm a very big person. I've made myself who I am today, and I don't think one race or one lose can make me, feel that I'm not cut for this. For me, that's why I always try and be fast from the word go, And with my current coach, we always strive to run fast from March. When you're running fast from early the season into deep into the season, that gives you a confidence over the others. Anytime you're going to the World Championships, like there's a World Championships I got in as the number one ranked in the world. So for me, that's confidence. So my game plan is always getting fast from the word go. Like now we want to start off with the Indo season, and that gives you the rhythm, that gives you the speed. So I want to use that to make sure that I start running fast as the first 100 meters that I'm going to step in. And going into the World Championships and you've run very fast times, you've gotten invitations into Diamond Leagues and all these big races, this gives you an edge over the others, because every time you're going into this race and you're meeting your competitors and you're beating them, you're already beating them mentally. Even as you go into the World Championships, you already have that. You already have that confidence. So for me, that's my game plan. Yeah, of course, if you're having a bad season and you're not strong mentally, of course, that's going to make you like beat up kabisa. But I mean, like I said, one season or one race doesn't define who you are as an athlete. Like for me, I've had one. Last season wasn't the best that we had. Of course, we had Diamond Leagues that we podium finished, but of course, that's not what we wanted. But now I used that, like using that season to make sure that I work so hard towards this other season so that I get back to who I am. So of course, if you're not mentally strong, of course, it can beat you down mentally big time. Okay, good thing about me is I have confidence. I mean, you can't come up at me and I'll not come back at you. It doesn't matter who you are. We're all in this world and we're all human. So you don't poke my eyes, and I will not poke yours. I don't work like that. So for me, confidence is what keeps me going. And I don't see any bad thing about me as an athlete. I have every relevant thing that you can think about. I feel like going back to work with Dan, of course, was a big thing for me in my career, because this is someone that I've worked with for 8 years, and he understood how my body works. And of course, based on how we've been training the last 4 months, he really knows how my body works. So I think that's the most important thing that I'm getting to, going into this season, working with someone who really understands me and knows how to get me back to that goal. I mean, I'm an athlete who really loves the hype. And I said, this year, nobody's going to get back at me and I'll keep quiet. If you get to me, man, I'm going to get back to you. I'm not going to joke with anyone this season. And one thing I know is that I'm confident this season. So whoever you are, it doesn't matter you've won goals in the World Championships or the Olympic Games. I've beaten all these guys before. So getting back, I mean, like you saying things about me and thinking that I just keep quiet. And for Fred, I don't think even I've ever competed with him. The guy's running enhanced games, so he's not going to compete in the normal game. So I stopped even arguing with him, because there's nothing that we are talking about here. Because, I mean, we are not going to run the enhanced games. We're running the normal World Athletics and Ultimate Championship. So we've always had a rivalry with Fred, and it's been hot and cold, because anytime we meet, he's a good guy. But anytime we're on social media, he's like rapturing up and doing all this kind of stuff. But like I said, I mean, get back to me and get back to you, and make sure that when I go to a race and you're in that lineup, don't sit next to my lead, because it's going to be worse. Yeah, I mean, IShowSpeed came, and the whole conversation was about, this guy is a speed guy, he's a IShowSpeed, like the name suggests. And of course, he's coming to Africa, and he wants to run, maybe will want to run with the fastest man in Africa. Of course, I was like, yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. Why not do it? But then I had my terms, we're not in that era where, you remember when you were tulikuwa toto? Ushago, you just choose your guys and then say, let's run. We're past that, man. We just can't come and run for fun. And the days that I ran for fun were over, because I've really worked hard to build this brand. And you just can't come and call me out and say, yeah, Fadi, I want to race you. And for me, I had put down my limits and the things that I needed to do. First, we have to do it professionally. If it's a race, it's a race. We're not going to run in a park somewhere. We're not going to run in some mud somewhere or in some tarmac somewhere, because I wanted it to be done professionally, If it's a race, you're going to race. And of course, something has to be put down because that's my time. I'm not there to make funds. I'm not there to, build viewership. I mean, who's going to pay me for the viewership the guy gets from his races? Or maybe me racing him? There's nothing I'm going to get from that. But for him, he's going to ask YouTube to pay him for the viewership and the content that he's created. So for me, he's doing his job and I'm in my job as well. So if you're doing a job, you have to be paid for your job, right? So, I mean, it was a one-day thing and then the guy is off. For me, I'm not going to get anything out of it. So that conversation just faded and I was like, it's fine. I have races in like 1.5 weeks and I have to work for them, so I don't have time for that. Yeah. I don't think most Kenyans really understand what it takes to get the top. And I want to challenge guys today, When I start my off-season in October, I want to challenge a group of like 20 Kenyans from different backgrounds to come and join me for a 2-day training session. And then they'll go back and tell what it takes to be who I am. 2 days, only 2 days, morning to evening. I'll pay your fare to my training session. Just come and make sure you do everything that I do for 2 days, and then we'll have a testimonial for that. Of course I am. I feel like the Omanyala mania thing has really been effective in the last couple of years. And every time I see kids running, every time I see kids calling themselves Omanyala, there are a couple of kids who are named after me when they were born, so that was something. And I'm looking forward to see more sprinters come up, and I want to guide them, I want to mentor them. I want to teach them the value of their brands, when they get that top level. And I want to change this notion of, athletes are easily accessible and you can do anything with them without just paying them or everything. I want to build athletes all around. So I'm looking forward to seeing so many sub-10s in our national championships, so many sub-10s in our trials. I'm looking forward to see 3 athletes being fielded in the 100 meters at the Olympic Games, at the World Championships. So I'm really looking forward to that. And for your information, that's why the Omanyala Foundation is there, and we're having these sprint school clubs that are being launched in different schools so that we can elevate the level of competition in high schools and then into the universities and into the club itself. So I'm really looking forward to building sprints to the next level. The Omanyala Foundation definitely is going to be revolutionize sports in the country. But like I've said, we've started the sprints. We are setting up sprint school clubs, school sprint clubs in different schools. And I want to tap into schools because that's where the talent is. And that's where the raw talent is. I want to grow with these athletes from zero. The Omanyala Foundation is going to take that, and we're going to employ coaches as well into these schools and giving these athletes the proper sprinting techniques and the sprinting models that are required. I hate to see when I go to high school games and they even don't know how to go into your marks. That's the basic thing like that. So that's what we want to change. And like I said, we want to improve the level of competitions in schools. I want a situation where the high schools events are even more competitive, like the elite level that we do here for the national championship. Yeah, I mean, my brand is something that I'm really proud of, because anytime there's an Omanyala mentioned in an article or a post or something, you get people flocking there to see what this guy's done. So I feel like that's what is attractive, and to brands that work with me, because they're proud of that, because it's not just about winnings. It's not just about who you are in the track. It's about who you are outside the track, how you interact with your fans, how you put that smiley face anytime you're doing interviews and anytime you're facing difficulties. That's what people want to see. People want to see the hope in you. So that's what I'm carrying in me. And that's what a brand is about. A brand is not just about what you do. A brand is about what you do outside your normal jobs. Like for me, this is my job. Like track is my job. But then what happens after this 100-meter line? That's what matters. How do you carry yourself after that? And one thing that happens to be one of the biggest things that I'm always proud of is the consistency. Every time you're running, you're up there. Every time people are talking about you. Every time you're going into a race, people know that you're there. The consistency is what matters to me the most, and that's what builds the brand. Yeah, out of all these things you've mentioned, for me, humility. Humility is what has carried me all through, because at the end of the day is, you know, everything that you're trying to build in this world, you're going to live it. All these things are vanity, you know. So as much as we're striving so hard to work and get rich and get all these things, I always tend to look at this example. I really decided to drive a very good car. And when I was gifted my first car, I was like, I need this car, you know. So after buying that car, after a week, I was like, I'm not flying, man. I'm just riding on the roads. Watu wakigwama kwa jam, tunabaki kwa jam si wote. So I was like, man, it's just the difference in status and everything, but life is just still the same, you know. You're still breathing the same oxygen. It doesn't matter when you're flying out. I've traveled miles and miles in this world in 2-3 months, different continents. But I mean, you're breathing the same air, you know, you're sleeping the same sleep. If you're having nightmares, it's just the same. So one thing that I've really learned in my life is the humility. Like, after all these things and everything that we have will all be brought down to, you know, 6 feet, right? So that's something that always carries me with every time. Now, 2025 was a tough season. That's the year that I expected a Sapten that I didn't run. So that was the year that I feel like it was a break season for me. We took it down a bit, so we didn't really push ourselves to the maximum as much as we were saying we were pushing ourselves. So I feel like God has a reason for everything that happens, and 2025 was a season of a break. So now even if I'm pushing myself, I'm not feeling like my body is, you know, holding back. It's just like moving. So I think like 2025 was a season to spearhead me to the next level. This year is about getting back the top. I've labeled it a season of restoration. You know, we are going to restore what we've lost before, and it's just putting everything together and putting everything and everyone who is coming back to me, you know. So this year, I'm going into this season with so much confidence because I know the work that I've put in. So this year is about getting back to the top and just getting back the rhythm into the 100 meters and the 200 meters. And of course, looking at the Diamond Leagues as well, looking at the Ultimate Championships, and of course, defending that Commonwealth gold. So that's something that we are really focused on this season. After my career, one thing that I really want people to remember me is the legacy that I leave behind and how many lives will I have touched after my retirement. So for me, that's a big thing. Forget the medals, forget the wins, forget everything. I want, after 8 years, so many kids be running here and be like, Omanyala did it to me. You know, that's what I want to leave behind. I mean, your biggest race is you, like what you're doing right now. You know, the race that you're running is your biggest race. Forget about, even if you're in the World Championships and you're running the heats, that's your biggest race because you don't know if you're going to the semis. And if you go to the semis, that's your biggest race. You don't know if you're going to the finals, you know. So, I mean, your race, the biggest race is what you're running at the moment. I've already changed the notion of people in Africa, and of course, I still hold the African record, of which I believe I'm the one going to break it. Wengine wamejaribu imekataa, but you know, I mean, I feel like I'm the one going to break that. And it might be this season, might be next season, I don't know, but I believe I'm going to break it.